G'day, Tragic here, and welcome to Eldritch Horror. This is turn 1, baby. Let's get into this. We're going to start really quickly, hopefully, because we did all the setup in the last video. There's just a couple of small things we need to do to kick off the game. And for one of them, we need to place 6 sanity on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now every time that the Omen Track gets to the Eldritch sign here, we have to distribute that much damage across all our investigators, but we also then we reduce the total sanity by 1. I'm also gonna just quickly draw our first mystery. Time Immemorial. The machinations of the Order of the Rising Star have reached a critical juncture, and across the world, the Order works to harness the powers that in eons past fueled ancient civilizations. But for what purpose? When this card enters play, place 1 Eldritch token on each of the following spaces, 2, 8, 9, and 21. As an encounter on a space containing an Eldritch token, you may attempt to disrupt the ritual, -1 law. If you pass, you may spend 2 clues to place that Eldritch token on this card. If you fail, a cultist monster ambushes you. At the end of the Mythos Phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half the amount of investigators, solve this mystery. 2, 8, 9, and 21. Okay. Right, so that is 2 is actually where we have one of our mystic ones as well. So that's 2, 8, 9, and 21. That's over here, bam. Okay, so the bad news is we need 2 clues for this. Also, talking about clues, let's just draw one. Okay, so this is a 15. 15 is down here at in Africa. So I'm just going to put a resource token there and then place this onto the courier run. So we have to get to that location at 15 and activate this card here. Now all we have to do to activate that card is do a card encounter at that location. Now we're just going to activate Unwilling Sacrifice. So what we do here is everyone can sacrifice 2 health to gain a unique character. So this actually suits us really well. So basically this one is all about cults bringing forth the return of Cthulhu and everything, kind of like in the story. The Unwilling Sacrifice Prelude, which I read in the last video, is basically us escaping from a ritual and we get to take someone with us. So we're all going to sacrifice 2 health and gain 1 character unique asset. Now we have this ginormous dex here. So I'm just going to grab sort of halfway through that deck and just grab the first characters that I see. Now I've just given them a little bit of, I'll do it again, give them a little bit of shuffle, and then we'll just go from turn order starting at the top one, which is, okay, so Joe gets Esteban Herio. When you gain this card, improve investigation. Once per round during the action phase, you may trade possessions with each other investigator on your space. Okay, so that's great. So we can basically do a trade without doing a trade action. Very cool. Yorik gets Constance Holbrook. When you gain this card from your deck, improve your influence. And it's got a common effect. Gain 1 random weapon from the deck, asset deck. That's awesome. Oh no, the messenger. Oh God. This is, I'm just going to start calling her a Kemi. I can't pronounce her name. Oh no, this is like, I know this card because I've had this before and it's not good. It's got a very bad effect on it. When you gain this card from the deck, gain up to 3 Eldritch tokens. Once per round, you may spend 1 Eldritch token to re-roll up to 2 dice. And it's got a common effect. Roll a die. On a 1, flip this card. Trust me, we do not want to flip this card. Okay, and Finn gets Professor Armitage, good old Professor Armitage, one of my favourite little cards from the Miasmatonic Call of Cthulhu deck. When you gain this card from the deck, gain 1 spell. Once per round, you may add 1 success to your test result when resolving a lore test as part of a spell effect. Very cool. Now, Skidz gets the dog sled. Okay, so see the dog sled here, right? Back when Call of Cthulhu, the LCG, like in its very first incarnation, back when it was still had rares and, you know, it wasn't like an LCG nowadays, it had rares and commons. The dog sled had the ability to have 8 copies in the deck. It was so broken, it was awesome. It was the only card you could have more than 3 copies, so you could have 8 copies of dog sled before it was errated. Awesome. Anyway, move to an adjacent space on the Antarctica sideboard, then perform 1 additional action. Okay, so we are not playing with the Antarctica sideboard, so I'm going to draw another ally for him. So I've just picked up some more decks. Let's do a cut. I'll do a bam, bam, bam. And now we'll just look for another ally. Here we are. Boom. That wasn't all in shot. Doesn't matter. Now I'll just give that a little cut and put it back. Okay, so Skidz is getting Acetylene Weight. When you gain this card from the deck, gain 1 spell. When a gate spawns, you may discard 2 spells to discard that gate and each monster on that space. Ooh, that's very cool. Okay, and Norman Withers gets an Antarctic Guide. Once per round, if you're on the space on the Antarctica sideboard, you may re-roll 1 dice when resolving a test, except when resolving... Okay, so we're on this is another Antarctica one. So we're going to kick that out. This time I'm going to draw from the other deck. Okay, allies. God, I almost dropped that entire deck. Okay, try to be a bit more careful. See if I can get this in shot as well. There we are, ally. You and other investigators on your space roll 1 additional die when resolving tests during otherworld encounters. After resolving an otherworld encounter, if you do not close the gate, gain 1 clue. Okay, very cool. So he gets +1 investigation. That gives him 5 investigation. That is awesome. And he gets Esteban Hero. Okay. He gets Holbrook, which improves his influence. Now she gets the Horrible Messenger with the 3 Elder tokens. Okay, so he gets the Professor, which also gains him a spell. Yoink. Blessing of Isis, awesome. Ritual. Do a Law -1 test. If you pass, choose an investigator on your space that does not have a blessed condition to gain a blessed condition, then flip the card. That is an awesome spell. Pity he can't use it. He's got to trade that off. Weight goes to Skidz. And he also gets a spell. Summon Byakuya, test law. If you pass, move to a space of your choice within 2 spaces, then flip this card. Awesome. Anything that helps travel is good. And finally, we have Henry here. And that is the opening prelude done. Now I'm going to fill the offer. Chief Inspector, map of the ley lines, camera, and... what does that say? Psychoanalyst. Okay, this is a very, very good one. Gives plus sanity on rest, and we're going to be leeching sanity because of the Great Old One effect. Now it's time to spawn the gates, and we spawn 2 gates because we're playing with 6 investigators. One, 2. That's the Himalayas and Antarctica. Antarctica and the Himalayas, which is up here. And then we spawn 1 monster. Let's get it right from the bottom. And let's get another one. Oh no. So the Himalayas gets a goddamn Catholian. Wow, these guys are beasts. -1 mind, -2 strength. He does 2 mind damage, 3 strength damage, and he's got 4 health. And he spawns into the heart of Africa, which unfortunately is where our little thing is. And the other guy spawning is a cultist, which is bad because it adds sanity to the monster. Okay, so we are ready to rumble now. It is now our first turn, starting with Joe in San Francisco. Now, there is a mystic event here, plus there is an Elder Sign token. Now, we don't want to pick up that Eldritch token because you need 2 clues to activate it. But I think he is going to go and try and do that event. I think the first thing he's going to do, he's going to do a 3 influence test. Yeah, blammo. Oh! Now that is how you start a game of Elder Sign. Bam! 3. Damn right. So we're definitely getting the Psychoanalyst. That leaves us with 1 that we can't spend. So I think he is going to take a debt condition. So if we can find a debt. Here, debt. And by taking that debt condition, we get an extra 2 Elder Signs to spend. So we've now got 3. And we're going to use 2 of them to buy the camera. So the camera reads, once per round, when you spend a clue, you may gain a clue. So this is like a 0 sum. It just means that you basically get a free roll. And this is important because we need our clues to solve that mystery. Now the Psychoanalyst is very good when you, like his passive isn't that interesting. It's like, you may re-roll 1 die when resolving a mind test as part of a madness condition effect. That is actually pretty cool later on, but what's really important is when you perform a rest action, recover 1 additional sanity. That is huge because our goo is sapping sanity twice as it goes around the circle. So out of the 4 spots in the circle it can hit, 2 of them will sap sanity. And for his second action, he's just going to move into here. Let's draw out 2 new cards. We have a Vatican Missionary. And we have Dynamite. So William has an action which says, discard up to 2 cards from the reserve, then perform 1 additional action. So it basically means that every turn, we can cycle 2 cards out of the offer here. I am going to cycle the Dynamite, and I am going to cycle the Chief Inspector. And they get replaced. Holy Spirit, and a Holy Water. So he's just going to do that pretty much every turn. Did I not do something? Wasn't I supposed to spawn clues? So I was actually supposed to spawn 3 clues, which I didn't do. So let's quickly do that, because that will change our plans. Lake Camp, we don't have that expansion board. 1, the Himalayas. Don't have that expansion board. And 21. Okay, that's perfect. 17. This goes to 1. And this goes to the Himalayas. Okay, so for he's just going to do 2 actions. He's going to go 1, 2 to there. Kemi is going to go 1, 2 to the Himalayas. Okie dokie. So we've got another clue encounter here, which is very, very cool. But I think what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go 1 movement into Arkham. And I'm actually going to trade the Blessing and the Professor and give that to Norman over here. You know what I forgot to do is put all their health down. So they're all -2, remember? So that's 7, so that's 3, 4, 5. Plus 3, 4, 5. She has 3, plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 3, 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5. He has 3, 4. He has 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 4, 3, and 6, 7. Now trading in this one, unlike in Arkham, is actually an action. So that's one movement, one trade. That's the end of his turn. So Skidz is going to use his action, his special action, which says that he can discard one item or trinket to gain one item or trinket from the offer of a value equal or +1. So he's going to discard the axe and he's going to grab the Holy Spear. So the axe costs 2, the Holy Spear costs 3, and we're trading in a gain 2 for a gain 4. Now the axe does have this other ability, but we don't want to be spending sanity because we're going to be leeching that to the old one. Okay. And for his next action, he's just going to grab a boat ticket. And finally, we have Norman here. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to give this ally to Finn during that trade action. Oh, actually, I think the trade action, you can only go one way in this, right? Is that right? No, I just checked it. You can trade both ways. You can freely trade. So he gets this guy. That's better. So he's going to do the Blessing of Isis, which is just a law -1 test. And his law is 4, so he gets 3 dice. So that's the Blessing of Isis. And we've also got the Professor, and that basically gives us 1 success no matter what. So we've already won this, but because this is a flip card, like we flip it over, we want to get more than 1 success. I think we need 2 successes for the blessing to be all right, if I remember correctly. And we get 1 + 1 from him. That's 2 successes. And this says, choose an investigator on your space that does not have a blessed condition, give him a blessed condition. And we turned it over, we had 2 successes, so 2+, the goddess smiles upon your cause, no additional effect, flip this card. So, bam and bam. And the blessed condition goes to Finn. And that, my friends, is the first player phase. Oops, let's draw another card. Yoink. It is Arcane Scholar. Okay, and now it is the encounter phase. So the first thing we got is Joe here. There is a Elder Sign as well as a Mystic encounter. We're going to do the Mystic one. So let's nab this. Yoink. Moo. The High Priest of Yoggoth calls his god forth from the abyss of Yi. Resolve the pass effect to help Xanthu change destiny and stop Gathortha. Or resolve the fail effect to steal the secret that keeps the doors to Yoggoth sealed. Okay, so we are going to do the top one because it is a investigation and Joe has really high investigation. Plus, we get to move the Omen Track, which means we can skip one of the sanity hits from the goo. As you help, you try to covertly look at the 31 secret rituals of Yi. Investigation -1. Okay, so his investigation is 5 with his improvement token. -1 means he has a total of 4. Okay, come on. Come on, the first roll, you blimo! Yes, that's a pass, baby. If you pass, you learn a powerful right. Move the omen to any space of the track without advancing doom. If you fail, you get punished and get a bane. But we didn't fail, because we're awesome. Okay, so we can move it to any spot. This gate is a red circle. I don't know if you can see that. Red circle. It is, trust me, it's a red circle. And this gate is a blue. And these things trigger on blue. So we're going to move this to here, which means it's going to start, the next one's going to be green. And then, you know, we'll give us some time because that's not going to match a gate either. Okay, that was a success. Bam. And the next one is London. So this now goes to London. Okay, so Yorik is here at a clue. So we're going to encounter this clue, which is a research task, which means that we draw from this deck here. Okay, this is a city space and it says, a traveling storyteller offers to expand your mind. If you have the fortitude to receive his gifts, mind. Okay, so here's a mind of 2 and he does a focus. Oh, you know what I did wrong? Oh, wait. Yeah, so on Norman Wither's turn, what did he do? He did the spell. Did I only do 1 action for him? I'll have to have a look in the edit, but he's supposed to end at the end of this turn with a focus. Yeah, so he was supposed to do 1 action was to cast the spell, and the next action was to take a focus token. Anyway, the point is this guy's got 3, who are we doing, this guy? This guy's got 3 mind. Come on. Yablamo! Oh, beautiful, another one. If you pass, the wisdom of a civilization lost is ingrained in your core. Improve 1 skill of your choice. I'm going to improve my strength. She's got 2 strength. She is here. There is a clue here that we desperately need, and there's a monster we desperately need. So we're going to fight this cultist first. Now the cultists have 1 health, 1 damage, and it does just rolling strength. So she has 2 strength. So this is actually a fairly difficult roll for her. Okay, so she has 2 dice. We need 1, and we get a 5. Awesome. Rolling on fire. This guy is killed. And we are going to access Bury Them Deep. So we're going to spend 1 focus and place this on the card. And then let's turn this around. The monstrous bodies once exhumed will fetch a pretty price in the right circles. You just hope that the dead stay dead long enough for you to get paid. Gain 1 asset of your choice from the reserve. Then if the total value gained in assets is less than the total toughness of the monster on this card, repeat the process. Then discard this card. Okay, well, I wish I knew about the discarding of it. Anyway, we've done it now, so oh, then I may flip this card. I don't have to flip it. Hang on. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. Stuff it. So I'm going to do this anyway. So I'm going to take this. This goes back into the cup. And I'm going to take this 4-cost asset. Map of the ley lines. Gain 1 lore, gain 1 mind. Once per round, you may re-roll 1 dice when resolving a test during an otherworld encounter. You know what I have to find out is whether those gains move with the card. Like if I trade this to someone, do I lose those improvements and they get them? I think they only go off once. I'll have to check that. Because this card is destined for good old Aki and her gate hopping awesomeness. Wow, he's pretty strong. He's improved everything almost. And now we are going to encounter the clue and hopefully get that clue. This guy's research card didn't say, do I still remove that clue? I think the clue is still removed. Okay, next, Yonk. She's on a wilderness space. You enact a ritual to mask the night sky from the order of the rising stars. Do a will test. Will's more in her wheelhouse. It is at 3. Come on. Boom. Another elder sign. Man, we're killing it. Killing it! If you pass, you watch them wander aimlessly in confusion. Gain this clue. Perfect. Yoink. That couldn't have gone better. Now, we just need to get her another spell and she can solve one of those clues. Right, I actually forgot to give the debt condition here to Joe, by the way, so I'll just quickly do that. Boom. Right, so Finn is in Arkham. So just grab one of these guys. Yonk.
A collector of ancient wonders is turned up in Arkham's asylum. You devise a plan to pose as a patient in the madhouse and learn the secrets of his collection. You may gain 2 madness conditions to gain 1 incarnation spell and 1 random magical asset from the deck.
Okay, so I think I'm going to do this. We badly need magical spells to feed into our mystery, because you've got to discard spells and stuff to activate all these things. I'm having some kind of mental conniption here. I thought that there was some effect where I had to discard 2 spells, but I cannot for the life of me find it. We have the mystery, but that says discard 2 clues. So even though we have the psychoanalyst power, I don't think it's a great idea.
Well, he does have 3 mind, which means he'd have 4 dice for a...
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Why not? Let's go all out. Madness abounds. So we want 2 madness conditions, gain 1 incantation spell and 1 magical asset from the deck.
My eyes aren't good enough for this. That's an incantation.
Okay. And 1 magical asset.
Oh yeah, magical. The incantation says, during the encounter phase, you may test lore. If you pass, you may choose an encounter as if there are no monsters on your space. And the magical item, oh, look at that. +2 mind. Could that be any better? Cultist Journal, +2 mind, +2 strength. Oh, it's only during combat encounters. Still pretty cool.
So, bam, that is +2 mind, +2 strength, but only during combat encounters. So I'm going to put the tokens on the card itself, plus we get another spell. And now we just need to find a madness, 2 madness.
Probably should have shuffled these. I'll give them a shuffle after this turn. Madness.
Hallucinations, madness. When you perform a rest action, you may roll 1 die. On a 5 or 6, discard this card and test during a comment. So this is basically the format for all conditions of this type, madness types. They affect your rest, and you rest to get rid of them. You need to convalesce somehow. Sweet. And despair, we have basically the same thing. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover sanity. Then flip this card. Okay, so that's 2 madnesses. Bam. Okay, so back. So right now it is Skid's turn. These are confusing me. I have to figure out another place to put them. There we are. So now it's Skid's turn. And Skidz is in Buenos Aires. Yoink.
You hear an old man in the Plaza della Repubblica chanting in Copic. Gain 1 non-incantation spell. You act quickly to stop him, fearing he may open a portal. Do an influence -1.
Firstly, we gain a non-incantation spell. Oh, it's a ritual.
Okay, so this is another Blessing of Isis. Okay, so we know what this does. You do a lore test and you bless people. That is awesome.
Now his lore is a lowly 2, so he's doing a 1. He's got 1 die. That's not good. Oh, here's that effect I was looking for. So discard 2 spells to discard a spawning gate. Okay, so we only have 1 dice for this, because there's a lore -1. Oh no, wait, it's influence, isn't it? His influence is 1. So it's actually a 0 influence, but you always get to roll 1 dice. So we're still rolling 1 dice. Come on. Oop, it's a cocked. If it bounces out of the tray, it's cocked every time. Okay, we rolled 2. That's a fail. I think that's our first fail of the entire turn. If you fail, you see a terrifying vision of an obelisk in the plaza. Gain a despair condition. Here's the despair condition. D. A lot of bad stuff going on. And finally, we have Norman, who is also in Arkham over here. So let's draw another card. Yoink.
You find arcane symbols at the Mr. Matonic University Administration Building. Gain 1 non-ritual spell. The Dean fears that they portend disaster, and you try to ritually remove them, law -1.
So first we grab a ritual spell. Cut that. What are we looking for? A ritual. There we are, ritual. Another blessing of Isis. What? That's 3. Unbelievable. So that is yet another blessing of Isis.
That's crazy.
So he has a law of 3. That means we get 2 dice because it is a law -1. Yablamo. Oh, beautiful. That is a pass. And there's no positive for passing, and we get the spell regardless. We just don't suffer impairment. If you fail, you suffer their dire results. Impair investigation and strength. Okay, so that is the end of the encounter phase. Now we have the dreaded Mythos phase. So we draw the first Mythos card. Yoink! So the way these do is that they go around in a circle, starting with the Omen Track. So that moves to the green. Ooh, that moves to the green. There are no gates on the board. This is a blue gate and this is a red gate, so nothing matches, so no doom token. And now we have to do all the Rekoning effects, which takes forever, and we're starting with monsters on the game board. We have no monsters on the game board that has a Rekoning effect. So now we do the Ancient One sheet. And there is no Rekoning effect on the Ancient One sheet. So now we do Mythos cards in play. There are no Mythos cards in play. So it's just possessions and conditions held by investigators.
Starting with Joe Diamond, we have a debt condition.
This is probably the best debt condition we could possibly get. Dark extraction. Part of your essence. That was the deal. The failure to live up to your end of the bargain will cost you and the world more than you bargained for. Resolve the Rekoning effect for each Rumor Mythos card in play unless you discard 1 talent. Then discard this card. Well, there are no Rumor cards in play, so nothing happens. Free debt condition. Awesome. So that's discarded. This guy has an effect here, which just says gain 1 random asset from the deck, or a weapon asset. So I'll just, there's item weapon, 45, it's the top one. Oh, actually, I forgot to refill the offer, so the 45 is supposed to be there, which means I'll just take it off the bottom. Magical weapon, there you go. Boom.
So we get a ritual dagger. Once per round, you may gain +1 lore when resolving a spell effect, or +2 strength when resolving a combat encounter. Excellent.
It's pretty cool. We don't want the measure to ever actually trigger. Okay, the message just says to roll anything but a 1. Come on, nothing but a 1. 3, pass, excellent. Now we have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. We have hallucinations and we have despair. 1 is just a loss. Despair is just lose sanity. So he loses 1 sanity. And the other one, hallucinations, is a mind test. Now his mind is 3 and he is blessed. So let's go. Yablamo. And we get 1 success. Now he also has the blessing itself. And he has to roll. He wants anything but a 1 or a 2. Anything but a 1 or a 2, baby. It is a 1. Blessed talent. Your vision has never been sharper. Your mind has never been more clever. You feel stronger than ever before, and all who meet you are willing to help your cause. You are confident that you will survive what is to come. Improve 1 skill of your choice, then flip this card. Wow, we don't actually lose it. What? Just flip it back. yeah, we get to keep this one forever, and every time we fail, in inverted commas, we improve a skill. That's pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that. I'm going to improve my influence. Okay, this guy also, he has two things. He's got, what's this? So he's got his actual personal story here. So what we want to do is roll 2 dice, and we're trying to find a 7 or an 11. Okay, 2 dice, 7 or 11. Yablamo! 6, 7, 8. And this is a fail on 2, 3, or 12. So we live again. And we also have a despair condition. It just says lose 1 sanity. So just yonk. And bam, bam. And finally, we have no comets there. And now we have the actual event.
It was so much worse than you thought. The ancient creature had not just established a presence here, it had infected every aspect of the city, down to its roots. Very thematic, because we are dealing with a very insidious cult that is infecting the entire earth with its evil. Well, not really its evil, with its misguided worship.
Everything is under control. This is fine. Spawn 1 monster on each space containing a gate that corresponds to the current omen. Well, there are no gates corresponding to the current omen. So that, my friends, is that. Bam! Okay, well that's that. That is the end of turn 1. I think we did pretty good around that round. I was a little bit cavalier with taking conditions. We got a lot of conditions, so it's going to be a very slow next turn because we're going to have to do a lot of getting rid of those conditions instead of doing things. So that's that, and I will see you guys